Ibn Mubarak today, yes, the shaykh said, the shaykh said, the shaykh said, this is our manhaj. Ahmed said, Malik said, Shafi'i said, Sufyan said, Ibn Mubarak said, Ibn Umar said, Ibn Abbas said, this is our manhaj. Rabi said, Al-Albani said, Bin Baz said, Muqbil said, this is our manhaj. This is our manhaj, ya ikhwan. We make no apologies for that. What's your manhaj?
Brothers and sisters, before we let y'all go tonight, we're going to play Shaykh UTHAYMEEN rahmatullah ta'ala alayh and see how serious this issue is. Bi-idhnillah. It's off.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
It's not long. It's very short. And I just want you to see how the scholars, those who we quote, look how they behave because they know about these evidence.
النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم
يستأذن في قصيدة هل ترغبون هذا لا؟
So this is concerning a individual who's in a young lad, a youth, as the Sheikh said, he's shabab. He's a shab from one of the shabab, that he wanted to say a poem. And this poem he wanted to recite in front of Shaykh UTHAYMEEN rahmatullah ta'ala alayh.
نعم طيب
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله أما بعد فضيلة الشيخ أستأذنكم.
So after after starting with the basmalah, he's asking the Sheikh permission, can he recite this poem?
نعم
يا أمتي إن هذا الليل يعقبه فجر وأنواره في الأرض تنتشر والخير مرتقب.
So he mentioned that, when he starts off his line of poetry, O Ummah, and he said that his lights on the earth will spread and his goodness will come. Look at the words he's saying.
والفتح منتظر والحق.
And he said, and victory is expected as the truth will prevail despite the efforts of evil.
رغم جهود الشر منتصر وبصحوة بارك الباري مسيرتها نقية ما.
And he said, with an awakening that Allah has blessed, its march is pure. He said, with no defaults or difficulties.
بها شوب ولا كدر ما دام فينا ابن صالح.
He said, as long as there exists amongst us Ibn Salih, meaning Shaykh UTHAYMEEN, all of this goodness, everything that he just mentioned is taking place as long as Shaykh UTHAYMEEN remain with us. Pay attention.
ما دام فينا ابن صالح شيخ صحوتنا بمثل.
The leader of our awakening, with people such as him, we hope for triumph and success.
يرتجى التأييد والظفر.
أنا لا أوافق على هذا.
So the Sheikh said, La, I don't agree with this part of the poem. Pay attention. The Sheikh said, La, I do not agree with this part of the poem.
لا لا أوافق لأني لا.
He said, no, I don't agree because I don't want the truth to be linked to any man. I do not want the truth to be linked to any man. This goes for anybody. We're not going to rally around Sheikh Tahir. Many people make a statement, they say, well, it seems like the brothers are defending them so much so that if they say that, if they are Allah, you'll find these individuals trying to figure out a way to defend them and saying that. Well, don't go extreme. No, we're not rallying around Sheikh Tahir. We're not rallying around Ali Davis. So that you don't know, the night shift is not in support of individuals.
No.
No matter whosoever they may be. No, we're not. We attach ourselves to Haqq. And we defend our brothers wheresoever they may be. We do not attach ourselves because Tahir has some academic prowess. We understand that he's a human. And we ask Allah Jalla wa Ala to increase him in goodness and to make sure his journey is safe. But at the same time, we don't blind follow and we don't take his word for it when it comes to this deen. We ask him the same. What's your dalil?
No.
So this is very important to understand that we're trying to get ourselves away from it.
And also we've defended how Abu Khadeejah, if somebody made fun of them and showed pictures of them in a bad light or the gun in his hand and this and that and the third and all this other stuff like that, at the same time we won't allow that to happen in front of us. We haven't allowed it to happen in front of us. Anybody call those brothers a deviants or call those brothers out their name, we have stopped individuals from doing that, even though we don't get that in return. It's not about that. It's about the fact that we do not attach ourselves to anybody's personality. We will defend any of our brothers' honor if it's transgressed in front of us.
Nah.
أن يربط الحق بالأشخاص. كل شخص سيأكل.
He said everyone would die. If we link the truth to individuals,
فإذا ربطنا الحق بالأشخاص معناها
this means if the individuals die, what's going to happen? The people are going to lose hope. We found this with Umar ibn Khattab. If anyone know the seerah or the history of Khalid ibn Walid, if you remember the reason why Umar ibn Khattab, radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he removed Khalid ibn Walid from being the Amir, the leaders of the Muslims. And we know that when Khalid ibn Walid, he was fierce in battle. And we know that he had great military strategy. And we know that he led many victories. But the point was that Umar, he feared that the people will rely on Khalid ibn Walid for victory, more so relying on Allah Azza wa Jal. So he removed Khalid ibn Walid from that position based on that, because he didn't want people to what? Become fanatically to what? To have to answer towards Khalid ibn Walid and link their victory with him. Look what the Shaykh said. We don't want the truth linked to no man.
أن الإنسان إذا مات قد ييأس الناس من هذا. فأقول إذا كان يمكنك الآن تبدل البيت ما دام فينا كتاب الله وسنة رسوله هذا طيب.
And also Abu Bakr. Remember Abu Bakr said, if you worship Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Muhammad has died.
Yeah, whoever worship Allah Azza wa Jal, then he worship the one who's all living, doesn't die.
Exactly.
And now you see here, he corrects him. So now he don't criticize him. He don't cause him to despair. Like many of our brothers, you ask them for dalil, and they say to you, well, anyone that knows, they know it's established already. You're just trying to defend you or hitting hizbi. La, correct me. Give me some dalil. So he tell him to what? He gave him a substitute. He said, won't you say, as long as amongst us we have the book of Allah and the sunnah, hada tayyib. This is good. This is better than what you said before. This is better.
He didn't refute him and say he wasn't on the manhaj.
Subhanallah.
ما دام فينا كتاب الله سنة رسوله. ابن العثيمين.
Subhanallah. Look, the young lad go back to it again. Subhanallah. You see how love for individuals can be?
It's dangerous.
It's how sainthood happened.
Well, that's how the people of Nuh fell into making worshiping the idols. The people, righteous people, died amongst them, and Shaitan knew they loved them, so he played that love with them, that personality love they had for him. He eventually went from loving their personalities to actually worshiping them as their deities other than Allah.
Subhanallah. He went right back after the Shaykh told him to exchange it, right, for something better. And he said Ibn Salih again. Just because of his love for the Shaykh. But even though that love might seem innocent, it's still incorrect, so the truth had to still be known.
Exactly. Another thing is deep, how the man fell into the same mistake again, still didn't take him off the manhaj.
No, he didn't. Also, the people in the audience was telling the Shaykh, let him finish. They were saying, let him finish his poem. The Shaykh said, La nuwafiq bihadha. He said, no, I must stop him. I cannot, we don't agree with that. We cannot let him go on. Now look at the Jews he's getting ready to drop. So he said, the young lad, he said, oh, okay, I'm not going to say Ibn Salih, but now I'm going to say our scholars. You see what's going on here? Instead of him just saying the book of Allah and the sunnah, which is, these two things are unfallible. They are wahi from Allah Azza wa Jal. They don't have mistakes. You see? They are free. But yet you're going to go back and tie the truth again to men instead of to these two things that the Prophet ﷺ said, what? What did he say? He said, I left you upon a clear guidance.
The kitab Allah was sunnati.
You will never go astray if you stay firm to these two things.
He didn't say
not
scholars.
Men.
He didn't say men and personalities. In fact, Kitab al-Tawheed actually sanctions this in Kitab al-Tawheed.
نعم أبدا ما لك يا رجال بس أنا أنصحكم الآن من الآن.
He said, I advise you from now on to not attach the truth to any individual. I know we mentioned that before.
وبعد الآن أن لا تجعل الحق مربوطا بالرجال. الرجال أولا يضلون.
He said people can stray from the right path. Look at the athar you get ready to bring from Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiallahu ta'ala anhu.
حتى ابن مسعود يقول من كان مستنا فليستن بمن مات.
Look at the Sahabas, Ridwanullah alayhim. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud said, whoever wants to follow someone's way, then let him follow the ways of those who already did. Allahu Akbar.
No.
Let him follow the way of those who already passed away. For a living person is not safe from fitnah. Whoever want to follow someone's tariqah, someone's manhaj, then let him follow the manhaj of the salaf that passed.
Exactly.
Okay? Because the what? Whoever is alive, he's subjected to fitnah.
He's not safe from changing.
He's not safe from changing.
هي لا تؤمن عليه فتنة. الرجال إذا جعلتم حق مربوط.
An individual if connected to the truth, if you connect the truth to him, this person may feel proud of himself and straight from the right path.
بهم. يمكن الإنسان يقترب نفسه نعوذ بالله من ذلك ويسلك طرقا غير صحيحة. ولذلك أنا أنصحكم الآن.
For this, I advise you now not to attach the truth to individuals.
أن لا تجعلوا الحق مقيدا بالرجال. الرجل أولا ما يأمن الإنسان نسأل الله يثبتنا وإياكم.
He said the first thing is a person is not safe from going astray of fitnah, and I ask Allah to keep us firm upon the deen. Ameen.
Ameen.
ما يأمن الزلل والفتنة. وثانيا
And he says secondly, a person would die and no one will remain alive.
إنه يأس يموت ما هنا حد يبقى أبا وما جعلنا لبشر من قبلك الخلد أفا.
And then he brings the ayat in Surah Al-Anbiya where Allah Jalla wa Ala mentioned that we have not granted to any man immorality or immortality. Meaning we didn't grant him to live forever. Okay? Then if you die, would you live forever? La.
وثالثا إن بني آدم بشر.
And thirdly, the son of Adam is a human being. He might feel pride. He might feel arrogant.
ربما يغتر إذا رأى الناس يعني يبجلونه ويكرمونه ويلتفون حوله ربما يغتر ويظن أنه معصوم ويدعي نفسه العصمة.
And will think that he is infallible and claims infallibility and that everything he does is right. Brothers and sisters, this is how we protect ourselves and we protect our brothers. Do not overpraise people. Do not overpraise people. He's getting ready to bring another hadith. He said, in every route he takes is allowed. In this, there is destruction. And for this, for this reason, when the man praised another man in the presence of the Prophet ﷺ, guess what the Prophet said to him? He said, woe to you, you have cut off the head of your companion, or you have broke the back of your companion. And he said, and I thank the brother who said this poem in advance, even though I have not heard. This is the adab of the ulama. And even with that, we don't blind follow Shaykh Uthaymeen.
No.
And Shaykh Uthaymeen doesn't want the truth to be linked to him.
And he didn't call the boy a fool, an idiot, an ahmaq.
He didn't do all those things. Brothers and sisters, stop worshiping the du'ats. Stop making it seem, and what I mean by worshiping the du'ats, no, I'm not saying you're making salat to them. I'm not saying that. You're fasting for them. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying in the very essence of taking their statements over Allah and His Messenger indirectly can be a form of shirk that you don't know. And this is what happened with the shirk al-ta'ah. And this is called shirk al-ta'ah. You have to understand that shirk and obedience. This is what happened with the priests and the rabbis. What they started doing, as Allah Jalla wa Ala said, they took what? Ittaqidun. They took what? They took the Rahban, right? Arbab min dunillah. They took these Rahban and they took their priests and their rabbis as lords besides Allah. So Adi ibn Hatim, the companion, radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he said to the Prophet ﷺ, no, they haven't. Right? So the Prophet ﷺ said, yes, they did. Did they not command them to do something that was permissible? Did they not tell them something that's permissible? That was impermissible, or did they not do something that was impermissible, permissible?
They made it permissible.
So they made it permissible. So in them obeying them and that which was halal and haram, it became an error. These things are to safeguard us.
You can fall into that if you keep going the way you're going.
And this is why we have this problem. How can you allow someone, wallahi, how can you allow someone to tell you, do not take from that particular person without any evidence? Just because a group of them agree on it. And they all on Twitter just sharing it back and forth. That's because this masjid seemed to be, and first of all, we gotta get past this understanding that, yeah, I'm at the place to be. This is the masjid that's on the haqq. We upon clarity. First of all, how do you know you're upon clarity? Every salaf, from the Sahabas on down, they all feared. When Umar ibn Khattab was on his deathbed after he got stabbed, and he's getting ready to die, and Abdullah ibn Abbas was sitting right there with him, and he said that Rally, I'm getting ready to bark. He didn't know where he was at. He was actually afraid that he was getting ready to go, and he was promised paradise. Yeah. He has had 2 permanent teardrops on his face. Yeah. These are people who was afraid of that stuff. Abu Hurairah, when he's getting ready to die, he said, I'm getting ready to go on a slippery slope. I don't know if I'm going to end up in paradise or in the hellfire. This was their mindsets and their companions. None of these people are greater than them.
They fear hypocrisy.
And they fear hypocrisy, and they fear what? That they would actually meet Allah's torment.
Yeah, exactly.
So how can you run around and say that this person's upon clarity? I don't know no one that talks like that. Wallahi, I don't know no one from the Salaf that talks about we are upon clarity. Wallahi, I hope that we are upon clarity. We accept dalil from the scholars, but when it comes to making specific rulings, we need more dalil that is convincing. No. Okay? That is absolute convincing. And if that happens, and if that shows us to us, then we're going to accept it by the permission of Allah Jalla wa Ala. Until then, right now, you brothers that making these statements, and everyone that's following them in it, y'all like Pharaoh and his people to me. Because Pharaoh people are going to get punished from fire. I'm not saying y'all going to get punished with the fire with the other, but that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying they are getting punished on behalf of following Pharaoh. Allah said they are being exposed to the punishment day and night. Okay? So now, if you brothers are following Abu Khadeejah and I'm saying that Tahir White is a deviant, or if you follow Somali and I'm saying that Mufti is Muhtadi, he's a deceptor, or Mustafa George, or Musa Richardson, and you follow this without any dalil, then guess what? You're going to take the burn of that sin upon what they're taking. You're going to take that too. You're going to follow them right along. You're going to take that too, because now those brothers got a legal right that they can take your deeds from you. Because not only you're backbiting them, not only you're slandering them, not only you're sitting there placing hukms on them, that if it's not true, it goes up to the sky and come back down on you. You haven't established those evidence. And I don't care who said it. Yeah, you brothers are defending people who do questionable actions. That, Sheikh Obey said something.
What did he say? What was his proof?
That he said he was a deviant? Because you called him a deviant. I didn't hear him say that.
Yeah, the days of running roughshod and just throwing statements out there and nobody asking for proof, y'all people got to stop living in fear. Ask questions and say, where's your proof? Who said that? Where'd you get it from? Is it from the Quran, the Sunnah, and the Ijma'? If it's not, we're not accepting it. The days of fear is over. Stand up for Allah's religion and say, we're not taking that anymore. We're not accepting that anymore.